Shalakaya chakshurunmilitam jena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamhayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Jaya Se Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripadamaham vande Sri Gurudinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeshwaram. Hare Krishna. So welcome everybody, thank you for coming. I'm here just to spend time with my old friends, Tulsi and Pandav. And this is the bonus. I get to meet all of you, so I feel very fortunate and blessed. This is what you get when you practice bhakti. Huh? You think you just came for a sweet ball and all of a sudden your life has changed. So that's how things work. In bhakti, it's not what you know, but it's who you know. Huh? In this world, people go to school, university, and colleges trying to learn things and get diplomas. But oftentimes in the real world, things work differently. It works more by relationship. It works more by connection. Huh? So skills, I would spend 6 years in America, mostly in California, Bay Area, San Francisco. And I talked to people who hire people for the tech industry and other industries. And they say that you can teach any skill, you can train any skill in 3 months. How to do any kind of job. 3 months. That's all it takes. Not 2 years, not 5 years, 3 months. But the attitude, the values, and the character, that takes decades to develop. In plain English, if you didn't learn it from mama, it's gonna hurt and it's gonna take a lot of time. So we're here not just to learn a few tricks and a few, secret handshakes and a few ways how to exploit this world better. But we're here to improve our character, to improve our relationships. So, Srila Prabhupada gave a wonderful story, and I like to tell you this story. Do you know how the rabbit killed the lion? Do you like rabbits? You like rabbits? No? Okay, it's okay, I can still tell the rabbit story? Okay, the rabbit. How did the rabbit kill the lion? You can give that to him. Huh? The lion was causing a lot of trouble in the forest because he's the king of all the animals, so he's the strongest. So he just started killing and eating all kinds of animals, and everybody got really upset and afraid. So the animals got together and they devised, okay, we're going to do something to turn this from a disorganized to an organized religion. So they said, okay, Mr. Lion, what about we give you one animal per day? At noon sharp, one animal will show up and walk into your mouth, and you don't have to go and chase and fight and do anything. You'll just get one animal to eat. And they made a deal with the lion that, okay, this will be all right. So this was going on for some weeks, and then at some point, the term came to the rabbit. Now, the rabbit came fashionably late, about half an hour, like good Indian or Bulgarian or whatever time. You were actually pretty much on time. I was surprised. I expected worst, and I was pleasantly surprised. So, the lion was very angry Because, hey, everybody got expectations in life. So, not just you, even lions. So he's very angry. And the rabbit said, you know, when I came here, big problem, big problem, big problem. Something very, very shocking happened. The lion said, what? What happened? Why are you late? The rabbit said, you know, when I was on the way here, there was another lion. And the lion said, I want to eat you. And I told him, no, that's not possible because I'm supposed to be eaten by Mr. Such and Such lion at noon sharp. And it's already late. So you can't eat me. And then I had to run away. And I came here as fast as I could. So I'm really sorry I'm late. And then the lion said, another lion? In this jungle? Impossible. The rabbit said, no, very much possible. I know where he lives. Really? You know where he lives? Yes. I'll show you. Okay, let's go there. So the rabbit was leading the lion to a big well. And the lion looked into the well. And he saw another lion at the bottom of the well. And then he roared, "Wah!" And he roared back, "Wah!" And the lion jumped. And that's how the rabbit killed the lion. So sometimes we think I have to work harder and carry more bricks and work longer and do more stuff and I'll be successful. I'll go to this gym and that gym and that gym and then I'll look like all these people who are jogging down there on the beach, you know, they look all proper. But then I realize I'm still just a gym monkey, you know. I'm just another idiot. I'm not really getting ahead in the world. So what's the moral of the story? Learn how to work smarter, not just harder, okay? Because if you take working hard, the donkey, the ass, the elephant, the bulls, they work very hard, but they're not making that much progress in life. Just like the donkey is carrying the load, whatever they put on him. In some countries it's loads of laundry, in some other places it's load of bricks or sand for construction. And the donkey has no choice because he's a donkey. And he thinks, yeah, my boss is so nice. He gives me a bit of grass every evening. So I really love him. I will work for him. But the donkey is not realizing that there is grass on every side of the road, that road that he's walking 10 times up and down every day. There is grass everywhere. So don't be like a donkey and just carry more and more load. Sometimes we think we have to carry the load of the world. We have to take everyone's problem and everyone's issues and everyone's... Have you ever done that? That you took other people's problems and you made them your own problems? And all of a sudden life was not so much fun anymore, right? All of a sudden it was like, whoa, you know, like, hey, this gets too crazy. Talking of joggers, I was in New Orleans, in the south of America, in the French quarters. And there was one young lady, and she was jogging, and she was wearing all the right kind of clothes, and she had a big pit bull. You know what a pit bull is? A big dog. A big, dangerous dog. And not your usual person that you would approach to distribute books to, right? But at some point, she got a little tired, so she stopped running. And she was standing there and she was catching her breath. And so I thought, yeah, why not, you know? Let me talk to her. So I walked up to her and I said, Kak Dila, how you doing? How you doing? How's life going for you? And she just started crying. She just broke down in tears. And she told me that 3 days ago, My fiance was cheating on me. This weekend we're supposed to be married and it's over. And I decided I become vegetarian now. I want to be spiritual and practice meditation. I have to change my life. And I said, girl, you're perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with you. It's the world that's crazy, okay? So, we had some good exchange, heart-to-heart discussion, and I gave her Bhagavad Gita, Science of Self-Realization, and a few more books. And she took a whole stack of books, and then she decided, I'm going to go home now and read these books. So she stopped being a jogger, she took the dog, and she went home to read Prabhupada's books. So, when you come in contact with Krishna consciousness, you get a special gift. But with a gift also comes a responsibility. Like when somebody gives you a gift, there's always a certain expectation, right? Have you noticed? Huh? You noticed, right? As soon as somebody says, hey, so nice to see you, I brought something for you, then you know, okay, what's it going to cost me? Like, right? Somebody gives you something, then you're like, hey, okay, what do you want? Tell me, what do you want? Yeah. So you get this big gift of bhakti. So what is the expectation? The expectation is that we relish it and we share it with everybody. That's what we do here. We chant Hare Krishna and we share the chanting of Hare Krishna with others. I was in Miami, Florida, and there was a lady yelling at her phone. Have you ever seen somebody yell at their phone? Do you yell at your phone sometimes? No? They don't do this here in Varna, right? People are very relaxed and peaceful, everything is cool. No. Sometimes. So, I always think it's funny when I see somebody yelling at the phone. I always think like, what has this phone done to be deserved yelled at, And what is the other person thinking on the other side of the phone? Like, who hears that? Are they putting it on mute, or they put the phone away, or they just say, So I had two choices. Now, we're going to have a democratic vote here. Is Bulgaria still a democracy? No. One person says no, one person says yes, others are smiling. So the count is not yet in. Okay, well, we're still going to have the vote, okay? So, choice number A, you avoid that person. Choice number B, you talk to that person. Okay? So, who would avoid that person? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, you're all non-confrontational, really nice people. Okay. Who says choice number B? You would talk to such a person who would yell at the phone. Anybody? Nobody. You have 2 votes, okay. All right. Brahmacharis have 2 votes, It's like the cat has 7 lives. Or how many lives? Right? And who abstains? Who does not want to participate? Okay. All right. Here's our Swiss neutral person. Now, if I would not talk to her, okay, that's it. Story's over, right? That would not be much of a story, right? That would not be very exciting. Of course I talk to her. I'm a preacher and I'm a hockey player. So I like confrontation. So I walked up to her and I said, right now, your mind, is it your best friend or is it your worst enemy? Are you mindful? Are you mindful or are you mindless? And she looked at me and she said, I'm so angry. I'm so upset. I could scream and yell at the whole world. But keep talking, it's working. So we had a little discussion about life, what goes on when you're not in school or when you're not at work. It's called life, you know. Welcome to the real world. Have you noticed? Huh? Are you enjoying the offline experience? Meeting real people and living in the real world? Of course, right? Yeah, because you're a real person, right? You're not an alien, you're not a hologram. You're not just... I always like it when they say, you know, like, are you human? You know, and then you have to click on some motorcycles. I'm always like, dude, you are AI and you're asking me if I'm human? That is a very funny question, right? AI is asking me if I'm a human. I love that, you know. Anyway, so, and then I told her, did you notice that most of the people and most of the situations in this world are outside of your control? Have you noticed that most of the people and most of the situations are outside of your control? Have you noticed?
Yes.
4 people said yes. This is a good class. I knew it was worth it coming here to Varna. You know, this is the master class. So, but the way how we respond to people and how we respond to situations, that is always under our control. And she started smiling. And she said, I get it. I get it. I understand what you're trying to tell me. This is a sign of God. This was meant to happen. Thank you very much. And she took her books and she said, I'm going to go now and read these. So, when Srila Prabhupada came, he saw the quality of people that were showing up. Yet, he did not see the deficiency, the problem in them. He saw the potential in them. So sometimes we get a little discouraged or we get a little too obsessed with things that don't work, that are wrong. Has this ever happened to you? Or is it just me? Huh? You have this analytical mindset, right? And you go, nah, 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 nah. What's next? You know? Like I always tell people when I meet them on the street, don't go too fast. You know, it's a small town. Otherwise, you're finished. And it's like, well, nothing. Let's go home, you know. So sometimes we get so obsessed with the result that we can't really appreciate the process. Krishna consciousness is a process. And the good thing is that the process and the goal are non-different. So when you're practicing bhakti, it is bhakti. It's not like you go to school or you do business. If you don't get the diploma or if you don't get paid, it was all just, you know, waste. No, it's all money in the bank. Why? Because Krishna is bhavagrahi janardhan. Krishna extracts the essence. And what is the essence? Your bhava, your mood, your spirit in which you do it. Now, sometimes you work a lot and you get no result in bhakti. Have you noticed? Sometimes you try everything and nothing works. It all goes wrong. Has this ever happened to you? Everything, plocha, everything just doesn't go well. But you tried your best. And that's all you can do. And Krishna is happy. He's satisfied with that. So don't be so obsessed with results. Be more focused on the process. And try to see the potential in everyone instead of seeing the deficiency. If we want to be analytical, if we want to be real critical, first of all, let's examine our own selves and see where there is room for improvement. But don't get too discouraged. Don't get too depressed. Use your discrimination and analyze what is the compassion, what is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And you will find it chatmakar. You will find it strikingly wonderful. That Lord Chaitanya has made this process so easy that anyone can practice it. Even me. Shivananda Sena was taking a group of pilgrims from Mayapur to Puri every year. It takes a minimum of 2 weeks walking by foot to do that journey. And he took a group of about 200 devotees and he arranged accommodation and prasadam and toll fees and everything for them. Now, one time, a dog joined their party. Not a pit bull, not a German shepherd, not a nice poodle, more like a pies. You know what a pies is? Pies. Huh? Like in El Salvador, they call it un perro avocadero. Means a farm dog, who is like in the forest, like where they have avocados and fruit trees, like just chasing stuff there. Not like a city dog, just some street dog. And that street dog thought, hey, these are nice people, I like these people. Let me go along with these people. And Shivananda Sena just accepted that dog and just took him in the party. And he was looking out for that dog. He was making sure his servant was giving rice every night to that dog. Was feeding him. One time the boatman said, no dogs allowed here. And Shivananda Sena paid 7 times more than for any human passenger to get that dog on the boat. But one night Shivananda was not there because he was taking care of some things, and his servant forgot to feed the dog the rice. So the dog went away, left. When Shivananda came, he asked, where's the dog? And nobody knew. And because he realized his servant had forgotten to feed the dog, Shivananda Sena felt so bad, he fasted that night. He did not eat because he felt he had offended that dog. He had broken its trust. He was such a man of such a word of honor. The next day, they reached Puri and they went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And who did they see? Little Piers. Little scruffy street dog was already there. And Mahaprabhu was eating coconut pulp, green coconut pulp, was eating it and throwing pieces, and the dog would jump and eat it. And he would eat and throw the maha, and the dog would eat it. Not with the hands, just with the... So, Shivananda Sena, when he saw the dog, he paid his dandavats, his respectful obeisances, to alleviate himself from the offense that he thought he had committed against the dog. The next day, the dog was nowhere seen. The dog went back home, back to God. So this is Chatmakar. This is strikingly wonderful, that Lord Chaitanya gave the mercy to that street dog because it had been blessed by the association of Shivananda Sena and all the devotees. So, this process of Krishna consciousness is like a touchstone. You know what a touchstone is? Philosopher's stone. You turn any metal to it and it turns into gold. One time, an Indian person asked Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, can you do miracles? Prabhupada said, yes. He said, Swamiji, can you show miracle? Prabhupada said, yes. And then Prabhupada pointed to all the devotees and he said, I have taken these people and I've transformed their lives, and now they're going out and they're transforming other people's lives. So, we've not come here to teach, we just came here to spend good time with our friends. And we're happy to see all of you here, enthusiastically chanting and relishing the process of Krishna consciousness. Our humble request is, please make plans how to share Krishna consciousness. This is very fertile ground here. Not just from an agricultural point of view, not just from a touristic point of view. There's a lot of potential. And we just came from Slovenia and Croatia, and now vegetarianism, veganism. People are very health conscious. People are getting very conscious about how they look and living healthier lives. Have you noticed? So maybe some of our younger generation can do some vegetarian/vegan restaurant or imbis. And I guarantee you, a lot of people will be attracted. A lot of people. You can see there's yoga studios. And they may talk a little bit about bhakti and do a little bit kirtan, but oftentimes you can only give what you got. If you don't know about it and you don't really practice it, it's not really that convincing. If you're 80 kilos overweight and you own a gym, then people look at you and go like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's not my place, You have to walk the talk, so to speak. So, and there's a lot of youth. There's a lot of young people. I see a lot of youthful people here. And there is no lack of potential of opportunity. Yes, we should also have a farm where people can see organic gardening and farming. We can have a community, a village, and a school and all those things. But I think first and foremost right now is a little preaching center downtown, which also serves prasadam, where people can meet regularly. And especially connecting with the youth, connecting with the schools, with the university, because this is the coastal capital of the country. And a lot of people come here. So thank you for taking part in this Hare Krishna experiment. And it's an experiment because we don't know really what's going to happen. We're not really that sure what's going to, how the transformation will go on. And don't get scared. Don't get scared that, I lost taste for a few things that before were so important to me. And now all of a sudden, they're not any more relevant. I was noticing that I was making a little bit of spiritual advancement when I didn't know anymore who won the championship in ice hockey. I just didn't know anymore because I didn't care. And I was like, what happened? What happened? So don't be scared when you see that a few things become less important and other things, bhakti related, become more important. Don't be upset when a few bad habits leave you. Don't be upset when a few acquaintances, so-called friends, disappear. There is no lacking. There is no lacking. Everything is available. So, this process is called Harinam Sankirtan, the congregational chanting. So we're trying to create a community who will together glorify Krishna and share this with others. So that's why it's important that we read Srila Prabhupada's books every day and learn how to develop this team player attitude, like Shivananda Sena. He was a team player. Even though he was the leader, he was a servant leader. He was the man. He had what it took to make it happen. But he had such a service attitude that he saw himself even as the servant of that little stray dog who joined their party. If we have such an attitude, everybody will be happy to cooperate and to work with such a leader. Sometimes we get a little bit confused and we think, okay, capitalism didn't work. Well, socialism also didn't work. Communism also didn't work. All the isms don't really work. So what's the solution? And then postmodernism means nothing works. We give up on anything, right? And it's just I, me, and mine. You know those three? I, me, and mine. And we think, I can win this. Me against the rest of the galaxy. But that's not a battle that you can win. Because it's a big galaxy out there. And it has its way of frustrating our desires and our plans. So we have our plan, Krishna has his plan. Let's see who wins. I have a hunch, I have a feeling that it definitely is Krishna's plan who wins. So we're here to learn how to cooperate. We're learning love through cooperation, how to cooperate with Krishna's plan. Because without that cooperative spirit that requires a molecule of humility and service attitude, without that, there is no more friendship. There's no more family. There's no more community. It's just dog eat dog. and that's not such a great thing. So you're blessed because you have heart, you're from a very lively and warm culture, and your head still works. When you go more south, then it gets very emotional. It gets sometimes a little too fiery. So here is kind of still a good mixture between head and heart. So use these opportunities. The country is changing rapidly, as you have already noticed, because things are moving in a certain direction and it's inevitable. We can't stop fate and we can't stop the time or the tide. But we can see the opportunity. Just like if you're in the ocean. You want to catch the wave, you got to see what's coming. Otherwise, you get smashed. You get hammered by the waves. So, any questions, any comments, any topics? As I said, I'm just here having fun with my friends. So, sorry if this has been a little bit of a, mixture of different elements, not just one topic, one theme. Yes.
Thank you so much for coming and having fun with your friends, and for this that we can get the opportunity to have your association in this moment. And I have a question regarding what you said a few times in different ways. It's about, I kind of see how there's people who naturally have this warm heart, compassionate, like mood towards life. It's easier for them to like open up and or talk to strangers or whatever. But there's people who you're friends with them for like years or whatever. You have like talked to them for deep stuff. You felt like you kind of touched their heart, they touched yours, but they still have this like stagnant energy and they have this wall.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to break through.
Yeah.
How can we soften the situation?
By understanding that Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. I may not be able to change them. Most likely I won't, but Krishna can. Because he's the inside agent. And compassion means that we're willing to take a little bit of suffering, a little bit of trouble from others and alleviate them from that. So by showing kindness, by showing compassion, hearing people out, giving them prasadam, giving them counsel, sharing our own hearts, our own struggle, they will gain trust. A lot of people have been cheated and have been cheaters for so long that they don't know anymore that they're lying to themselves. It's become so much the norm that they can look you straight in the eye and lie straight at you with a smile on their face. And they don't even realize it till somebody tells them, hey, that was not cool, like that was way out of place. Because it's wrong. But oftentimes going after the negative is a very, very tedious job. We spoke about this morning. Because if you kick the stool, then you start smelling bad. So don't try to go and kick up, all the dirt in the world that there is. Because there's a lot of dirt in this world. Rather, focus on the positive. Focus on the good stuff, the enthusing, the inspiring stuff. And pick the ripe fruits. Some are not ripe. You live in an agrarian environment. You've been fruit picking. You don't just break the branch and drag it down the street. Some of the nuts, they open easily. Others, they don't. Then you have the choice. You can take the hammer. But then it's going to be a mess, right? It's not so nice. And with people also, same thing. Sometimes they're beyond our reach. But Krishna can reach everybody. I was in Rishikesh and we were doing Harinam Sankirtan. And I met a man, I showed him the Bhagavad Gita, and he said, I already know this. I'm a yoga teacher from Kiev, Ukraine. And I realized if I say one more word, he says no and walks away. You know that moment when it's like time to zip it? You just have to be quiet. Because if you say one more thing, it's over. So I just kept quiet because he was kind of friendly. He was, not a bad person. He was just a little arrogant. But he was looking at the book, so it's not like he was not interested. So I just kept quiet, but in my heart of hearts I was praying, Krishna, if I've ever been a good boy, if I've ever chanted your name, if I've ever done anything useful, please take all that sukriti, all that pious credit, and give it to this person. All my bhakti points. Like, you get bhakti points. So, and after about 5 or 7 seconds, the man looked up from the book and he looked at me and he said, I feel love coming from your heart. How much is the book? Now, this is not San Francisco, where people have different habits. This was a yoga teacher from Kiev, Ukraine. So, I could not reach him, but Krishna can reach everybody. A lot of times people walk past or they say, and then they come back and say, okay, I changed my mind. When we become so deep in our spiritual practice, by getting up early, by chanting Hare Krishna, by reading Prabhupada's books, you create a vortex that will just pull people. So the only thing they should be asking is, how can I become like you? But if we're not deep, they may ask, where can I get that tattoo? Where can I buy that t-shirt? Oh, it's a nice motorbike you have. I want a girlfriend like you. But if we're actually deep, people want to know, what makes you you? Like, how do you tick? Why are you the way you are? A friend of mine, Anakudundubi Prabhu in Italy, he distributes books in his follow-up. You know him. His mantra that he has used for decades, and it still works. When he shares the books, he says, this is about the art of how never to get angry. And people say, okay, yeah, I want that, yeah. That's good, I'm in, Teaches you the art of how never to get angry. Because right now the world is very polarized. There's so many different factions and people have so many different opinions and they're fighting and debating about so many things, and they get pretty angry and vocal about it. So debating with people is not very productive. Trying to convince people is not so productive. Would you like to be converted? Would you like to convert? Huh? Right now? Conversion? Anybody? Would you like to be converted? Would you like to be inspired? Huh? Yeah? Inspired? Inspiratie? Yes? You see, you understand? People don't want to argue or to be convinced. A person, they have their little free will, they have their little independence. But people like to be inspired. So try to look more for the opportunity and just share the positive. And you will notice how gradually people will take a liking and they will trust you. And then they will also share some of their struggle. And then they're willing to hear a little bit. It may not be 2 hours. It may be 2 minutes, depending on their capacity. But right now we live in a very turbulent time. And it's actually one of the best times ever, because right now you can go up to anybody and say, hey, how are you doing? How's life? How's things going over there? Because everyone's struggling. Everyone's having a hard time on so many different levels. And if we're not just sincere, but if we are deep in our practice and we're also willing to share a little bit of our own struggle, be a little vulnerable, not like I'm fine and you're doing terrible, but, we're in the same boat here, and we have to row together. Otherwise, we're not going anywhere. If you're willing to extend yourself and to offer people genuine friendship, you'll have a lot of friends. I don't mean those so-called 5,000, imaginative, avatars and non-existing, social media people. I mean like real friends, real people. So don't try to impress the world. Don't try to have thousands of friends. Jesus had 12 disciples. Some were not so good. Some were terrible. Few were okay. A couple were pretty good. They did something. So instead of trying to be more superficial and just, impress the world, rather invest a little more into a few quality relationships. And I guarantee you'll have more traction. You'll get more grit, I don't know if this helps, but try it out and see how it goes.
I don't know, I'm just...
You're just exercising. Okay. Welcome to the Bhakti Yoga gym, You can exercise here. Yes?
Thank you so much. I have a question because I have experience. I not so much this between books, but on the very beginning, even if while I was doing this every day, next day was completely heavy. Just kind of fighting with mind and opposite persons. Somebody was saying, you don't have your even person from outside. You don't have your bhakti in your heart. You even not beginning. So I have this experience. Do you have this kind of things?
Yeah, that's very wonderful. That shows Krishna loves you. Yeah. He sees there's a lot of potential here. You're very capable. But sometimes, Krishna, he also sees that we may be a little proud or we may be a little stuck in a certain way of thinking. And then Krishna shows us where is the problem and how we can improve ourselves. That means he actually cares about us. So we should not get discouraged when Krishna does that, because that's a sign of love. Anybody who criticizes you, anybody who corrects you, they actually care about you. They actually love you. I just read a quote from His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, where he says that if you actually criticize somebody, you give them your sukriti. You give them your pious credit. You give them your blessings, because that's what happens. That's what a teacher does. He has to find faults with the student. And in this way, he's empowering the student to improve themselves and to come up. Now, sometimes it's a little distracting when we have to look into the mirror and see, whoa, wow, okay, I guess there is some homework here, huh? Because sometimes we think everything's perfect. So before going out on the street, look into the mirror and ask yourself, would I like to meet this person? If not, why not? What can I do to improve myself? There's a Chinese saying, if you don't have a smiling face, don't open a restaurant or a shop where you sell something. Because people are hungry, and then they come and they look inside and they say, oh no, I'm not hungry anymore. And they just keep walking. So sometimes people will say, yes, I want the book, but I won't buy it from you. Why is Krishna doing this to me? Because he loves me. Because he loves me. One time I was in Australia and I was distributing books in front of a mall, a big, shopping center. And I had a polo shirt. People don't wear polo shirts here, huh? They went out of fashion, huh? This is all t-shirts and whatever, huh? Okay. You know what a polo shirt is? With the thing and the buttons. And it was too big. It was extra large. And I'm a thin, tall guy. So anyway, I got that shirt. So I had to button it up all the way to the top. Otherwise, you just fall down. So I buttoned it all the way up. And they looked at me and they said, this is not how you wear a polo shirt. You know, you have to open that top button, you know, like you have to open that button. And they could not see or hear what I had to say because they were so disturbed that my shirt was buttoned up. So I opened that button and then they bought the book. So don't get stuck on, you know, these little details that, oh, Krishna did this or Krishna did that or the other thing. Krishna loves you. And if somebody loves you, sometimes there's love fights, you know? You know love fights? Like when you're in a relationship, sometimes you fight with the other person. But it's out of love. It's not out of spite. It's not out of envy or jealousy or like that. So, you're fortunate. Krishna loves you. Yes. Huh? And you're a tough guy, so you can take it. Krishna knows. Krishna knows. You're not going to give up. You're a Bulgarian. Polish. Po polsko. Okay. Yeah. Same. Tough guys. Fighters, you know? Not spoiled. Okay. Other questions or topics? Any topic. Yes.
Ако имаме проблем и конфликт с хора, които са в материалния свят, някой ще приведе ли? И до такава степен искаме да докажем, че сме прави и да променим света, сякаш забравяме, че ние сме в Кришна съзнание и че човек от среща също има в сърцето си Кришна. Как да се справим с това?
Sometimes in the material world there are people, there is some kind like conflict situation, and to such an extent we want to prove a certain point that we forget that the Krishna is not only in our heart but in their heart also. So how to deal in such kind of situations? Serious material conflict situation.
It's important to understand our capacity.
Yeah.
So depending on our capacity and our relationship in that situation, you may either speak out or wait and later on say something or avoid. It depends really on the relationship that you have. What's your position in that scenario? Because that defines everything. It's called Sambandha Gyan, knowledge about identity and knowledge about relationship. If you are aware of that, then abhideya, the process of interaction, becomes much more productive and you will actually reach prayojana, the goal. But if it's not really clear who am I and what's my relationship, just like here, I'm a guest. So guests, you know, they have a certain role to play. And if they overstep their role and they take on a different role, like that you're the owner or the master of the house or the guy who calls the shots, or then people won't really appreciate it. So you have to know your position. That will make it easier. And there's a general rule of thumb that we have emotional bank accounts with people, so always make sure that you give more than you take. So you invest more into the relationship than you expect from others, because otherwise you end up in deficit. If you have invested and you have built strong relationships, then you can pretty much say anything and people will take it in the right way, even if it's a tense topic. But if there's not that type of relationship, then it's better to just be a little more diligent and a little more subtle about it. Otherwise it becomes counterproductive. And in the name of trying to do something good, you end up having negative effect. You have noticed, right? That can easily happen. So sometimes it's better to wait and to see, maybe I'm not the person who can handle this or who can change this situation. Maybe I should talk to somebody who has a better position. You know, like if you're in a company or in an organization, sometimes you have to go through somebody to achieve something, because if you were trying to do it, it wouldn't work. So Krishna will give you the intelligence in how to navigate. But again, it's case by case scenario. You ask the general question, you got a general answer. You want a specific answer, you got to ask a specific question. Okay? That's as much as I can say. In general, it's better to be a little more cautious. Unless it's a life or death situation, like, some kid runs into the street, you just grab the kid and scream and yell and pull him out so he doesn't get killed, But not all the situations are like that. Oftentimes it's heavy stuff, but oftentimes it's things we can't really have that much influence on. So you have to know, what is my role in this situation? And will it help that person? Nowadays people everyone's sensitive. They're just sensitive in different ways, in different parts of their body. So you have to be careful in how you deal with people. Just like we're people, and we like to be dealt with in a certain way. So do unto others as you would like to be dealt with yourself. And that's usually a good indicator. Again, if it's something where you feel you can make a difference, try it out. But don't get disappointed if not everything just works according to your plan and desire. But Krishna sees our effort. He sees our intention. And if our intention is honorable, even though the person may not listen in the moment, but later on they will remember and they will appreciate that you made a point and it went on the record. So it wasn't like wasted. Sometimes what you say or what you try to do won't really change and affect the outcome of the situation. But the people who are involved, they can remember. And sometimes it takes time. I had an old friend from Russia. He came to me after 25 years and he apologized for something he did 25 years ago. And I had forgotten about it like ages ago, but it wasn't a big thing either. But it took him 25 years to admit to what he'd done wrong. And it wasn't a big thing, but it was out of a matter of principle. But he had the character to actually come clean, to actually square up. So I really appreciated that. So sometimes it takes time for things to work out. Like in the heat of the moment, it may not, but sometimes later on, it will. Other points? Prayer also helps. Prayer helps a lot. Because Krishna, he can do the magic. He can move things in mysterious ways that are way beyond our comprehension. Yes, sir.
When I distribute books, so I have this tendency to pride myself that I'm very quick in judging people, whether he will take or not take. So, but sometimes, often I'm obviously wrong. So, and also I don't want to push people too much, because if you think, okay, he said no, but maybe that no, I can turn into yes. You have to push the person. But if you push, sometimes it's bad. If you don't push, that means you give up too easily sometimes. So I'm struggling with this.
Thank you for your honesty. We don't push people. People don't like to be pushed around. We push ourselves. So be strict with yourself and be kind with others. And again, it will create a certain energy field where people feel drawn. They feel compelled. Like here especially, I can see when you go and talk to people, just ask them, do you speak English? And they're, yeah, can I help you? But if you go like, hey, come here, take this, like New York style. You noticed when you come from New York, you have to kind of switch into paradigm shift mode. Like there, if you don't speak out and make drama, people don't even notice you exist. Here, if you start making drama, you'll really get drama, like people give you drama. So you have to know your audience. And sometimes you just can't reach people. So you just have to be a little more subtle. And people respond. Krishna will give you the intelligence. So sometimes we run into these scenarios that people are not that responsive, or that we are a little too quick in analyzing things, and then we don't do justice to the person. Krishna proves us wrong many times. We think this person is definitely going to take, is definitely interested. And then they say, no. And they walk away. You already had booked you already made your you already, ticked off the thing on your score sheet, right? And then you have other people who are hopeless cases, but they want the book. So Krishna definitely is very personal. That's why Srila Prabhupada says that bhakti is the most congenial form of intimacy. So if you want to become intimate, close with Krishna, bhakti, devotional service, especially the Sankirtan process, is the best way how to do that. One time I was in Mumbai, in a train station, Borivali or some, not the main one, and it was rush hour traffic in the evening. People were coming home from work, and this is the big city, so people leave home at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. They commute for a few hours. They go to work for 8, 9, 10 hours. Then they commute back, and in the evening, they're really, that kind of mood when people go home and they're just like, get out of my way, I want to go home. So that was the mood. And I was with my godbrother, Govinda Prabhu, and a few other devotees, and they were like, yeah, let's see the magic. And I was like, yeah, right, let's see the magic, yeah, great magic here, yeah. Greatest place, greatest time of the year and of the day, and everybody was like, okay, now, come on, white monkey, white elephant, jump, do something. Nobody stopped, nobody looked, nobody paid attention. I was trying, all the different tricks and nothing worked. So then what do you do when you don't know what to do, Any idea? Pray. Pray to who? Mama. Huh? Call Siri. Count your money. No, it doesn't work. You have to pray to Krishna, right? It's the only one who can do the magic. So I just started chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Hare. And then 5 or 6 people looked at me like, who's this guy? And I said, you and you, come here. I got something for you. And I gave them a book. And they took books. And then again, people started walking and ignoring me. And I started chanting again. And in this way, books went out. So sometimes you just have to break the routine. Like you think, okay, I just have to do the same thing and say the same thing. And then it just doesn't work sometimes, right? Have you noticed? So then you just have to, sometimes it helps, you just switch to the other side of the street. Or you just put your mantra upside down, Just mix things around a little bit. Because when things become mechanical, people don't like it. Because it just sounds boring. And you know it's boring. And they know it's boring. And it's just, so for me, I need variety. That's why I do what I do, because that's how I work. But I know some devotees, they can go to the same spot and say the same thing for decades, and it works for them. So you have to see what works for you. Okay? Other points? Questions, comments?
Bulgarians, by nature, Bulgarians are very shy.
Okay.
So, no, I'm not speaking about the people. I'm speaking about the street.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes if you go a little bit harsh, they back up.
Yeah.
But if you're too mild, then they don't really pay attention to it.
You see, the secret is that you have to have balance.
Yeah, they don't know.
So initially, if you just boldly run up to them, they don't like that. So initially, you have to be relaxed. So initially, you're relaxed, but then it's like, okay, here, you, talk to me, all right? Okay. But then mellow out, and then again, step up, then mellow out. So it's like dancing. You see people dancing with each other? Huh? So there has to be a certain flow, and you have to respect the other person. Different people have different mood and different speeds. So it becomes like dance. That's a spiritual world where every word is a song and every step is a dance. So then you'll just go out and have fun. You'll just go out and dance for Krishna. That's a fun thing to do, right? That's real Sankirtan. It's not that you go out and you drag your bloody club on the battlefield and you tell people, you want to smell this? You want to smell this club? Huh? I'm going to squeeze you through my little mantra now, and then we'll see whether $5 come out, So people don't like to be manipulated. They can sense it if you have empathy, if you're kind, if you want to help them, or you just want to exploit them. People are not stupid. Krishna is in their heart. And when people see that we actually have their best interests at heart, then even though you may look a little different and you may say some things a little different, like the other day in Sofia, you remember the last two girls we talked to on the way back to the car? They didn't look like your typical, bhakta candidates, right? They were more like fashionistas, like they were totally dolled up and dressed up and ready to go shop and try any stupid thing. And I just handed them books and said, I'm a monk and this is for you. And they were like, okay, fine, all right. So what do we do now? So I said, well, you get another one. And I gave them 2 books each. And then one lady paid for both. And they went to the car and put the books in the car. And they were happy. So it really requires that we're not on the bodily concept of life, that we see the spirit soul, and we see that everybody wants to be appreciated, everybody wants to be loved and respected, and everybody's looking for friends. If you understand that, people will eat out of the palm of your hand. But if you're either arrogant or insecure, if you have a superiority or an inferiority complex, you talk down to people or you are afraid of them and look up to them. Oh, you look so great and wonderful. Then people just want to avoid you. They just want to get rid of you. Why is social media so big? I know you're not doing social media, so you probably don't know. But there's something out there called social media, okay? Don't try it out. It can cost you a few years of your life, okay? So if you're conscious about how you're going to spend your time, don't go there. Why is social media so big? Because people want to have friends. Oh, he unfriended me. That's the worst thing you can do to people, right? Because we have that tendency that we want to be part of Krishna's family. We want to have friends. We want to have loving relationships. But because we haven't learned how it really works, so people are willing to do stupid, dangerous, outrageous, foolish things to get more attention and get more followers. But we don't understand that if we put Krishna in the center and we try to please Krishna, then not only are we having a relationship with Krishna, but we have a harmonious, loving relationship with all his parts and parcels, with all living entities. Like Shivananda Sena with the dog. He didn't see the dog as inferior. He didn't see the dog as a threat or as some stinking, stupid animal. He saw this is spirit soul. This is a person like you and me. Right now stuck in a dog's body, but there's potential. And because of his equal vision, he elevated that dog and sent him right back home, back to Godhead, by getting Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So we don't know who's who. We don't know who's going to make it, who's got more capacity than others. So the key word is dance. You got to dance. And that means you have to be willing to be a little intuitive and a little flexible. And that doesn't mean just that you have to stretch more, But it means we have to get out of our little concept of who we think we are, and that we can only deal with people in a certain way. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj once said that if I can get people to chant Hare Krishna, I will wear a bathing suit and walk on my hands and clap with my feet if it gets people to chant Hare Krishna. He was not stuck up on details. Sometimes we get too rigid, we get too ritualistic, we get too stuck on our idea of who we think we are. Prabhupada was the founder Acharya. He was the one who built the movement, who wrote the books. When he started, very few people showed interest. He cooked, he served, he cleaned, he did everything. Till after about a year, some young person asked, Swamiji, can I help you? And he said, yes. He said, I thought nobody would ever ask. Maybe they're rich kids, their mama did everything for them, or maybe they had maids, servants, so they didn't know that you can also do something. But Prabhupada was willing to do everything if that's what it took to give people this opportunity. He was not like, hey, I'm the professor, One time I was in Florence, Villa Vrindavan, with my spiritual master, and I just carried his suitcase into the room, and he just motioned like this, which means turn it the other way around. So I turned the suitcase the other way around, and he looked at me, and he looked how I reacted. And then he smiled and he said, I'm supposed to teach you. And then he started laughing. Because it's hard to teach old dogs new tricks, So as soon as we think, I already know, or I've been doing this, or I figured this out, then it's hard. It's hard. Because as soon as you think, I already know, it's difficult to change, to improve. So it's good to have a more innocent, a more playful, a more open mindset and say, okay, Krishna, I'm willing to dance, all right? Make me dance, make me dance. Like Prabhupada wrote this prayer on the Jaladuta. He said, Krishna, I don't know why you have brought me here, but I'm sure you have a plan. I'm willing to be an instrument of your plan, of your compassion. Please empower me. Make me dance, make me dance. He wasn't like, okay, this is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to work out. Prabhupada said, I came to teach you principles. You figure out the details. Prabhupada did not have the plan of building temples. He just wanted to spread the message of the Bhagavatam and spread the holy name. They did not start temples till many years after, when people with money started to come. Before that, it was just storefronts and little places and parks and gardens and home gatherings. Prabhupada would sleep in people's apartments on the floor. But he was not disturbed by details, because he saw people were appreciating the holy name and the Bhagavatam, and he was happy to start small. So you're very fortunate here in Varna. Why? Because you can start small. You don't have a big temple, a big elephant that you need to feed, 50 kilos of cashews every day. You can do this thing whichever way suits your needs, suits your community. So get together and draw up a vision. What is it that our community here needs? And how are we going to do it? And make sure it's relevant, it's attractive, and it's impactful. Yes, some of us are older, we're thinking about retirement. Some of us are younger, we're thinking about, we want to conquer the world and travel. And others are like, hey, I need a job and a family. And so people are in different stages of life. We have to take that into account. Different people have different needs. But we should see, what does Varna need right now? How can we improve our service? Yes, we can distribute books, but if we don't have a way to follow up and how to cultivate people and how to show them how to practice this bhakti thing, it will stay very small. Yeah, we have a couple of saints, a couple of traveling monks who go around and inspire people. And some hardworking, exemplary householders and some struggling students and artists. But if we are to be that spiritual revolution that changes the surface of the earth, we have to put our thinking caps on and work a little on our vision. That's just my 2 kopecks, my 2 paisas here for the current scenario. Last question? Yes.
Are you happy?
Am I happy? Huh?
Why?
Why? Well, that's not something you can really define. It's not a rhetorical or a intellectual answer. I'm happy because I know Krishna loves me, and he's proving it every day of the week. In fact, every moment. I have friends. I have people who love me and who tell me what I don't want to hear, but what I need to hear in order to become a better person. So I feel myself fortunate. I'm privileged. I have people who tell me the truth. I have meaningful work. I have meaningful things to do in my life. And I feel that I can somehow be of service, that Krishna is engaging me. And that's meaningful. That's purposeful. I feel I have found my purpose. Is it easy? No. Is it always productive? No. Do I like it all the time? No. But that's part of the fun. That's part of the happiness. You see, when you're a kid, you can have a movie ticket and an ice cream, and you're happy for 2-3 hours. But when you're an older kid, it's not that easy anymore. Your expectations change slightly, and you need other things. But again, we're in different phases of life, so we may have different priorities. When I was young, I was much more ambitious, much more result-oriented. But Krishna gave me everything and more, and then he took a lot of things away. and he made me smile and laugh about myself and about the world. So, yeah, it's been a good thing. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. It's not a philosophical question. It's more.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I was thinking about this point that sometimes we are going out for Harinam, chanting the holy name or distributing books, and sometimes we have this mood of enjoying mood, and to make fun with the people and to feel very happy, doing these activities and chanting the holy name or distributing books, and we like to feel this happiness, this energy, but we are somehow or another we are losing the focus of what we have to, who we have to please, what is the goal of these activities, Harinam Sankirtan, and the result is going down, and people are we see that they are not so attracted to what we are doing, and I was thinking maybe probably because we are trying to do this for our own satisfaction, not for Krishna's joy, and I was just thinking what is the solution for this, how to really remember what is the right things to do and what to not do.
The key message, the key teachings of the Bhagavad Gita is balance. Yuktahara viharasya. Krishna is saying, not too much, not too little. Nothing wrong with fun, but don't overdo it. Otherwise, you ask people for a donation and they donation. You're a funny guy, Have a nice day. And you go like, oh, okay, let's get serious here. All right, okay. And you go like, here, take this book. It'll make you happy. And they say, why don't you read your own book? It looks like you need it more than me. Because my life was good before I met you, Now I'm not so sure how my life will be. So you have to find balance, okay? And again, you're a big guy and you're strong, so you have to talk softly. Otherwise, people feel intimidated. They feel like he's another gangster who's trying to rob me, or, So there's a saying, carry a big stick and talk softly. Balance. Some of you are more introverts or more shy by nature, more timid. You can step it up a little bit. Don't be aggressive, but just be a little more outgoing. How to find that balance? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna will give you the intelligence. She's in your heart. It's a constant balancing, So when we go off track, we have to get back on track. No airplane flies straight line from A to B. It's always some course correction. It's always some balancing act. Remember balancing? You remember the dancing bear? You don't. You're too young. When I came here 30 years ago, the dancing bears were still out there. It's a big bear. It's hard for that bear to balance, but he learned it. He learned it how to balance. He's a big animal, but he learned how to balance. So if a bear can find balance, why can't I? Why do I get so bent out of shape if something doesn't go my way and I'm like, nah. That's why it says, Utsaha nishchaya dharyat. Yes, we should be enthusiastic, we should be determined, but we also have to be patient. Not just with ourselves, but also with others. And Krishna will give you whatever you need. Last point?
Последно нещо, някой
Okay, thank you all for showing up. It's been great meeting you. And please take this bhakti adventure to heart and invest your emotion into it. I guarantee you, you'll have fun and you'll be happy in your own way. Money back guarantee from this seminar. And tomorrow we have another program. Tulsi will tell you all about it. And as I said, I just came here to spend time with them. They're actually the ones who are running the thing. So I feel blessed. I feel fortunate that they, consider me a friend. And they trust me that I won't mess things up too much. So, and I see a lot of potential here. So please get together and do a little bit of that vision and mission statement of what are the next steps here to develop things. And Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Should we chant a little bit? Okay, we'll do a quick kirtan. Do you want to dance? I think we should dance. I take the cards.